Hello, Team Superdad, friends, family, members all around the world. It's Team Superdad here, Johnny J. Today on the Lunchtime Live with Team Superdad, forgiveness and blame. Do you have to forgive? Do you have to forgive? This is a subject which has come up by a good guy. I can't say he's a friend, but he is a business associate, someone who I've met through Dent and the KPI program, a guy called Jean-Paul de Villiers, which he was already a bit of a dude before something happened to him last year, which in certain circles has made him even more like internet famous, but basically made him even more high profile. And JP was cycling from Land's End to John O'Groats, basically the whole length of Britain. And just as he got near to the finish, someone knocked him off his bike. A car, a hit and run, basically whammed him and nearly killed him. So he was in intensive care. He's had to rebuild his whole life. Suffice to say, given the fitness and health and coach dude that he is, he's since gone on to climb Kilimanjaro and some other amazing things. But today, JP posted that he's in court today facing the guy that ran him over, that hit and run him basically. And this brought up a subject for me around forgiveness and forgiveness in relationships, forgiveness in our family. It's just, when some subjects just seem to come popping at you from different directions. I was at a funeral last week, and funerals are always quite tricky, but there was, moments in the eulogy or the speeches where there were references to the parent, to the mum, and how life had been. And one thing I know as a parent and inside a Team Superdad is that we can't choose our parents, and as parents, we generally just do our best. And in relationships, like, few of us are relationship experts, and most of us make frequent mistakes during our life. So the question comes up, like, what is forgiveness? Do I have to forgive this person? People who've been abused, people who've had money stolen from them. You see on TV people who've had family members shot or beaten up, and it's almost odd when they speak about forgiveness. But the question I got asked in the Team Superdad group today was around forgiveness, and is forgiveness like forgetting? Does it mean you suddenly have to be nice to that person? And the answer to that is no. Forgiveness, in my mind, forgiveness is about freeing yourself up from that experience, freeing yourself up from the past so that you can live your life, so you can live your future free from that baggage. You can't actually forget these things, but the forgiveness part comes in accepting what happened, releasing that person from the bind. And the irony of it is that the bind is actually going on inside of us. More often than not, the other person is not going to feel anything. And particularly if it's something that they didn't think they did to you, again, because of blame, which is all part of forgiveness. Blame can be something that we've created ourselves. This happened to me because you were like that. This happened to me because you didn't look after me, love me, have fun with me, give me money, whatever the scenario might be. But when we've decided that the other person is at fault, there's nowhere to go from that unless we actually forgive them. And forgiveness is really a gift that you give yourself. It's not something necessarily that you even have to tell the other person that you've forgiven them. There can be value in that. You can get complete over a subject by having that conversation with someone and just letting them know that there was this thing, I was holding it over you. I kind of ready to let that go. Now, in that space, that person might say something. That person might reveal something that is absolutely blows your mind and transforms what you know about or what you believed you knew about that experience, that moment, that time. It also may find that just the simple act of talking about it makes you realize that it doesn't have quite as much of a hold over you as you thought it did. So another thing about forgiveness is the sense when you see that person, when you speak about that person, when you think about that person, that you get all knotted up inside, that it conjures up and flushes you with a tidal wave's a bit extreme, but it flushes you with emotions that aren't very nice. Thoughts, feelings, fears, concerns, and that is toxic. When we hold that about someone, when we hold it inside of ourselves, then we're not really freeing. We're not really freeing them by forgiving them, but most of all, we're not forgiving and we're not freeing ourselves. So, forgiveness. Do you have to forgive? I'm pretty much going to say yes. You have to forgive. If you're talking to your children, if you're talking to a brother and a sister, your children, and they've done something wrong, is there ever a scenario where you would say, "Don't forgive each other"? Now, of course, what they've done to each other might not be so extreme as murder or death or adultery or rape or theft or like all the things that we really can, or being hit and run in a accident, all the things that we might think are big and significant. But if you take away the what happened and you go back to why do you forgive someone, so that you can be free, so that you can restore that relationship if appropriate. It doesn't matter if you don't ever want to speak to that person again. But if you do, and you want that relationship to be genuine and real, then you're going to have to forgive them. And if you don't want to speak to that person again, if you have no desire or interest to see them, they might even be dead. But you got to free yourself from the incident so that you got free to experience those thoughts, or even a repeat of the scenario. Like it might not be, it could be a relationship. I'm not going to get into relationships because they end like this. Can be something that is you take a hold over you by not forgiving the person that did it to you last time. It can seem like the most unnatural thing on earth to forgive someone that has wronged you or hurt you. But as JP is illustrating today, as he stands in court, he shared this on his own post, on his own Facebook profile, and I've shared it, and because I had this comment to make. He's going to stand there, and he doesn't know what's going to come out of that court session. He can't possibly know what he's going to feel when he sees that person for the first time. But somewhere inside him, he knows that his future will be freer. He says this on his post, by being there today. So where in your life do you need to forgive, to free yourself, to open up your future? I could share, okay, I'm going to share a personal experience. There was comments made on court papers in my divorce, in the child court, about an incident with picking up my boy from a football match. And this comment could only have come from another dad, a dad who had taken my boy to football and who at the end of football said, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Are you taking Jago home?" So to his mother's house, to which I said, "Yeah, nice one, I will." Hoping that he was going to say that to me, because imagine how painful it was to see someone else taking your child in a car on a car journey that you could have had done. So to me, that incident was completely normal and innocent. But then it appears in court papers as something that I did and something that was wrong and that I shouldn't have done, and a whole load of other stuff. But I was left with that dad put that on those court papers. It was an untruth. And I have ignored him, avoided him, resented him. And to the point, obviously, what we're seeing each other regularly at the school gates, to a point where I had to let it go. I had to say, I've been storing this level of resentment, and I'm going to let it go. I can't forget what has happened, and I'm not even sure I actually know what has happened other than seeing the stuff on the court papers. But I now know that when I see him, not that I'm going to go and talk to him, but I am freer from that thought and confusion and pain than I was before. And that is what forgiveness does for you. If it's in your current relationship, then forgiveness is the most important thing you can do with your children, with your partner, with any family members. To me, those are the most important relationships in our life. And you can start to free your life up and to feel love everywhere by forgiving the people that are closest to you. And remember, forgiveness does not mean that you have to go back and be nice to or talk to people that you're happy are no longer in your life. This is Johnny. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on Wednesday. Team Superdad out. Bye.